Hi guys, my name is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing 5, if you like this book, you might like this book, recommendation. And let's just jump right into it. So the first one I want to talk about is if you liked We Are the Ants or The Humans, then you might like The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. So if you have read We Are the Ants or The Humans, you would know that these are first contact novels with aliens. So in these novels, it's not about like an alien invasion and everyone freaking out. It's about one person interacting with kind of early aliens or dealing with an alien influence and having to make certain choices that the alien like presents to them. And it's more about how that first alien interacts with humans and how they learn about humanity, a smaller scale first contact with aliens. And especially We Are the Ants, which has some queer elements, is similar to The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. So this is also kind of a first contact with aliens book where the main character has just got fired after a scandal when he was a journalist in Washington, D.C., and he's going to live at the cabin. His parents left him after they passed away, and when he drives up to this remote cabin, he realizes that someone is actually there, and it's a very dangerous looking man who has with him a little girl named Artemis Darth Vader. Now, this book was so good. I really enjoyed this story so much. I cried, and Artemis Darth Vader is my favorite character of the year when I did my mid-year freakout. So if you've liked these, definitely maybe check these out. I really recommend it. So the next recommendation is going to get a little witchy. So if you have read The Summer of Salt, you might like These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. So both of these deal kind of with teen witches in different ways. So The Summer of Salt is following a family who runs an inn, and they are known as kind of a family where if you have a problem on the island, you might go to them to get like a tincture or some medicine. One of the daughters has manifested some powers where she can float, and our main character has not manifested any powers yet. And it's over the summer that the main character learns a lot about family and what being a witch means, and also developing queer relationships and friendships around her. It has great queer rep throughout the whole novel, and it also does deal with some pretty serious topics. So that's that book. And These Witches Don't Burn follows a main character who is an elemental witch in her small town, and she works at kind of like an occulty store and sells like crystals and candles and stuff, and she's finishing out one of her last years of high school when they are at the end of the year high school bonfire, and there is a burning pentagram which is found on the ground. Now this sets off kind of an investigation and kind of a panic because a witch hunter might be around, and our main character thinks she knows who did it, but in order to help solve it, she is going to have to contact her ex-girlfriend and fellow elemental witch again. So this book also deals with family, darker elements, queer relationships, and also witchcraft. So if you like this, you might like this. So my next recommendation is for those of you who like some darker content. So if you liked We Need to Talk About Kevin, and I use liked like very... If you appreciated this book and rated it highly, then you might also appreciate and rate highly Baby Teeth by Zoje Stage. Now, these books deal with some very dark subject matter, and they deal with kind of possibly evil children. So in We Need to Talk About Kevin, we're following the mother who has realized like throughout her child's life, Kevin has never really developed like other normal children would, and it follows Kevin from before birth to when he is, I believe, 16, and it is following the mother as she comes to like this dawning realization that like her child has not turned out well, to put it lightly. And there's a lot of discussion of like nature versus nurture and why Kevin has turned out the way he is, why he is so bad. And in this one, Baby Teeth, we are following a mother and her daughter. Now the daughter is between the ages of 5 and 7, and the daughter presents one way toward the father and one way to the mother. Toward the mother, she is conniving and manipulative and very, very mean. And to the father, she acts like a sweet little angel. She refuses to speak, and it is also a very dark book. However, the one thing I will say is that this book spans like 17 years, 16 years. This book spans, I think, 1 to 3 years. And this book takes a certain trajectory, and this book goes in a completely different way. So if you had an issue with the ending of this one, maybe this ending might be better. Or if you loved this ending, maybe you might find this ending a bit refreshing or just a bit horrifying. So yeah, if you like one of these, then check the other one out. Okay, and my next recommendation is if you liked The Water Cure by Sophie Mackintosh, then I would recommend The Light of the Fireflies by Paul Penn. Now, these are two books that you wouldn't necessarily think are similar. This one deals with a family who lives in a remote area along the seacoast, and the parents have always told their daughters that the outside world is full of men who will hurt them, until one day men wash up on shore and a story ensues. This story, The Light of the Fireflies, is told through a young boy's perspective, and he has always lived with his family in the basement of a building, and they're very isolated. They have no outside contact almost, and he doesn't know why. He's only told stories about the outside world, and he only views the family through the lens of what he's been told by his parents. So I get this isn't like exactly the same, but it's both very isolated and both like this is told through the daughters, this one is told through the son. There is massive miscommunication, which makes everything so creepy. You're not sure of like the outside world, very dark, and also the endings are very similar in tone, I would say. So I think if you like one, you would like the other, but don't expect them to be exactly the same in like storyline or plot. It's just the general vibe and the overall like isolation of a family unit who may or may not be telling the truth about what's going on in the outside world. Okay, and the last, if you like this, you'll like that, is The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, which I honestly did not like when I read it, and I have like a rant review of it. I will leave the link down below. And Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram, which I loved and gave 4.5 stars / 5 stars. So why am I recommending a book I didn't like to a book I do like? So it's because I liked the idea of the plot of The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, and the plot has a lot of similar elements to this plot. So the reason I didn't like The Brief Wondrous Life was that a lot of it was written in Spanish, and a lot of it had references I didn't understand. There was just a lot that I couldn't connect with. Whereas this one I think is a much more accessible interpretation. So, all right, let me talk about this one. So Oscar Wilde is a boy who doesn't really fit in. He's bullied for being a little chubby. He likes Tolkien, he likes reading, and he has never really fit in. His family is from the Dominican Republic, and he feels like he's just never lived up to their expectations. In this book, Darius is also slightly chubby and gets bullied at school, doesn't really fit in, and he doesn't feel like he fits into his culture where his family is from Iran. So in Oscar Wilde, he travels to the Dominican Republic and he learns a lot about the culture and about himself. And in Darius and his family travel to Iran and he learns about the culture and himself. But this book was so good, it made me cry so much. It talks about family and depression and sexuality, kind of, and friendship, and the food in this was just amazing. So as much as I I liked the idea of Oscar Wow, but I didn't connect with it due to writing style and due to inaccessibility. There was so much accessibility about this, so much so that I really want to check out Iranian food and read more, and I just really, really am excited to learn more about the culture. So I am planning a reading/eating vlog where I'm going with some friends of mine, my husband and my Iranian friend Naz and her husband, and we're gonna go to this vegan/vegetarian restaurant in downtown Melbourne, which is Iranian, and they have some of the dishes that were in this book, mainly ones that have pomegranate, ones that have mint, and ones that have just a whole bunch of chickpea and sauces mixtures. Oh man, I'm just so excited. So yeah, if you liked this, maybe check this out. If you liked the idea of this but didn't like it that much like me, check this one out. I recommend it so highly. So yeah, that wraps up my if you liked this, you might like this video. I have many more of these planned because I personally really love these videos. If you have any recommendations that are similar to the books that I talked about, let me know down below. That would be awesome. I love these videos. So I hope that you're having an awesome day, and I will chat to you later. Bye!